Hello, I'm back. I'm Lillian Silver, or I'm Michelle Aiken, aka Lillian Silver. But you can call me whatever you want, really. Uh, Long time no see. I've been to London since my last video. I did a lot of writing in London. I thought I might do a video while I was there, but it didn't happen. I was in writing mode. But I'm back now, and I'm starting to think about different structures for the channel and different structures for videos. I have a video editor that I may be hiring soon to just be able to do all of this for me because I ain't got time for that. I did that for a very long time where I edited all my videos, and it was my life, and I don't have room for that anymore. But I want these to be higher quality. Like, I eventually am going to get a camera. I'm going to do all kinds of stuff. So, however, I have been thinking more about the intentionality of the videos. So I think one thing is having a monthly work in progress recommendation and a monthly completed recommendation. So those are like the two statuses of fanfics out there. And this is a special month to start with because Senlin Yu, who is one of the authors that I shouted out in the video that I did with my friend Grace, which I'll put in the box below. Most of you are here because of that, so I think you've seen it, but I'll put it there anyway. Senlin Yu is taking the month of February off, and she's got two works in progress, Manacled and All You Want, that a lot of people are voraciously reading, and some people are just coming to because that's what happens. And she's taking the month off to handle some health issues, and so that leaves a lot of room for, number one, lots of people who haven't read her stuff yet to get really into it and get excited for March when she'll be starting back up. And then for those of us who are reading, especially Manacled, because it's so intricate, to throw around fan theories and just discuss. So I put out there on the Strictly Germani Facebook page, I said, I think I'm going to do all February, just talk about Manacled. So I got a lot of interest in that, a lot of people sending me, hey, here's what you could do, and here's some ideas. So I just wanted to start off by saying a whole bunch of videos are going to be about Manacled this month, which is a fic by Senlin Yu that is a work in progress. And if you're someone who doesn't read works in progress, I highly recommend breaking your rule for this. Fair warning, a large part of the story involves, I think some of her archive warnings are rape, non-con, and graphic depictions of violence. And I just want, like, so when I started reading this in the first place, I had found a lot of Senlin Yu's other work, which is more smut-heavy, perhaps, and not in these categories. And then when I started reading Manacled, I was like, wait, this is like dark and upsetting. And how is this reminding? Like, how are they actually gonna ever get together? Because when you start reading it, you're like, no way. But I will say that the rape non-con elements of the story are not, I don't even explain it. It's just not what you think. So it may be triggering for some people. However, oh, and certainly, like, the whole story, for me, reading it, I'm very empathic, and I can feel what Hermione is going through in the story, so it was at times hard for me to read, but I'm really glad that I read it, and on a second read-through, it's reading a lot less dark to me, maybe just because I know where it's headed, and I know that it gets lighter. So, not trying to sugarcoat it, it's a tough story to read. But it's amazing! So I made notes. I did the thing. I actually made notes. Let's see. What did I say? So the story is incredibly intricate and intentional. So Senlin Yu really plots this out, has multiple people reading it for her, correcting and going through and making sure that the plot makes sense, and it's all plotted out already. So if you have the scaries about starting a work in progress because you've been burned before and people have abandoned their work before, just calm down. It's not going to happen. And plus, there's other people who know how it ends. And, you know, if Senlin Yu just burns out and is like, I'm not doing this, someone else will finish it. That's not going to happen, though. So at first, when you start reading, basically, when you begin the story, if you know anything about the Handmaid's Tale, you might think, oh, this is a take on that. And it sort of is. And if you don't know about Handmaid's Tale, I'm referring to the the need for there to be some sort of breeding program where the women are brought in and put in red dresses and bonnets and just used for breeding and repopulation. So that's basically the thing. Harry Potter is dead. Here, I'll read you the actual summary. Harry Potter is dead. Great start. In the aftermath of the war, in order to strengthen the might of the magical world, Voldemort enacts a repopulation effort. Hermione Granger has an order secret, like Order of the Phoenix. She has a secret, lost but hidden in her mind. So she's sent as an enslaved surrogate to the High Reeve to be bred and monitored until her mind can be cracked. So in the story, she's basically done something to her memories. She's put fugues around them so that they can't be accessed through any sort of legitimacy or anything. And even she doesn't know what memories she is hiding. And that's where we start. So we as the reader have no idea what memories she's hiding. We don't know why. She's in a complete state of panic and has been locked in the dungeons of Hogwarts for over a year in darkness. So she's got a lot of psychological trauma and a lot of stuff going on with her. And that's what makes it so difficult to read. But also fascinating once you get into it. And I'll just tell you, I found the story, I read probably the first 6 to 8 chapters, and then I just stopped because I was in the mode of reading like Loves Bika 8's work and just people who are doing like rom-coms. And I'm like, boop, 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 it's going to be happy. And then I go and start reading. I'm like, this isn't getting anywhere happy anytime soon, and I need happy right now. And if that's where you're at, that's totally fine. There's plenty other things for you to read. But I would not pass this fic up because, and I'll tell you what got me back into it. I was following Senlin Yu on Tumblr. By the way, Senlin Yu answers tons of anonymous asks on Tumblr about her work, and she's just constantly communicating. So I'll put all the links below, but it's really cool to read her work because you get to go interact with her online about it. And then if you're on any of the Facebook groups for Hermione, there's also a ton of people there discussing, and it's a good time. So I was on Tumblr one day, and when Senlin Yu posts another chapter, she'll do the thing where she puts a snippet. And I read a snippet of one of the later chapters. So if you look at her fic and you look at the chapter list, you will notice that after a significant amount in the present day, we start flashbacks. So we start back years prior because there's all these secrets that Hermione has and we don't know what they are. So it's brilliant storytelling because it starts in present day. We get really steeped in it before we jump back. All of a sudden we jump back to when Harry was alive and everything that happened back then, and get to see the whole story play out up until this point. Fun fact, she mostly wrote them in tandem. Like she wrote them at the same time so she could lace details together. It's incredible on a second read because you're like, oh man, there's so much weaving through this. But I saw a flashback that looked pretty rom-commy to me. Not super because it's still dark fic, but there was some stuff happening in it where I was like, I am interested in that. So I started reading from there, but I had no idea what was going on. So it was just a mess. I was reading it and I kind of knew what was happening. I was sort of enjoying it. And then I decided, okay, I need to go start back at 1 or 6. I think I started back at 6 because like I said, I had read a bunch and get to here. And what a ride. What a ride. I just recommend starting right at the beginning and just go through and please trust me. Just trust me that it gets to such an amazing place that it will become your favorite thing that you've read. And if you're just on Fix for smut, go read all you want because that's Senlin Yu's other work in progress. And it's not just smut, but it is a lot of smut. So I recommend both, but I'm going to be doing a few other videos about Manacled this month. So if you want to be on board for that, start reading, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.